say.
We want.
I don't have to be at every day.
I was so happy.
I was like, this is my bad. I told, yeah, I just like, Tracy put it on calendar.
Are we recording yet? But I just wanted to get there. Keep in the rubber, dude. I'll do that.
You're already signed up. Philip came right before lunch. I had.
Oh, wonderful.
And so he did great. And he talked about like the history of Lakeland. It was really good. It was about being segregated. It was awesome.
Oh,
He did a
because
great job.
well, and because it's real, I had to figure out how to get up. I like
And
it, Robin.
we did too.
Thank you, sir. Feel like a spring egg.
Spring day. To call our meeting to order at 8:33 on Wednesday, November 12th. The first item on our agenda is we have to have a public hearing that we're opening. The hearing on the approval of program of projects fiscal year 25-26. We need a roll call first. Ellen?
County Commissioner Martha Santiago,
Here.
County Commissioner Becky Trumpman,
Here.
City of Lakeland Commissioner Sarah Roberts McCarty,
Here.
City of Lakeland Commissioner Guy Lalonde,
Here.
City of Lakeland Mayor Bill Mudd.
Here.
All right, the item on our number one is approval of the program of projects fiscal year 25-26. It's an approval item. If I can have a motion, or is Rhonda going to walk through that? Motion for approval. Okay,
Second.
I have a motion and a second.
Okay. Recommend. I don't think I need to read it, but the program of project is a requirement of the Federal Transit Administration Grant Application Program. The said requirements include public hearing notice published in the newspaper on October the 21st, 2025. The resources outlined consist of FTA Section 5307 and 5339 grant programs. The funding consists of the remaining multi-year grant balances and anticipated award for the fiscal year 2025.
Awesome. We have a motion on the floor and a second. We will now open for any board comments first. Seeing none, any public comments? Seeing none, we need to vote. So do we do roll call or all in favor?
All in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. We will adjourn this portion of with regard to the program and projects fiscal year 25-26. All right, good morning again. This is our regularly scheduled agenda for Wednesday, November 12th of our Board of Directors meeting for Citrus Connection. First item on our agenda is the approval of the October 8th Citrus Connection meeting minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second. Any questions or edits? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving on. Motion carries. We will open this segment for public comment. If there's anyone who'd like to address the Board of Directors, please do so now by stepping to the podium. Don't run. Okay. All right. Number 3, Jim Award. Paul? Yeah, Paul.
One day you get Paul can wear a coat.
Yesterday too.
Good morning, Chair,
Good morning.
the Mayor, Commissioners. We always have excellent operators here at Citrus Connection. We call them the true ambassadors. And today I want to take the time out really to present our great police operator, Marcellus Tax. Marcellus, you understand next to me? Now, I don't want to be verbatim, but I could be. But he's one of our true representatives for the police operation. Always smiling, never pass up an opportunity to ask someone to ride. He makes sure if his numbers are down less than one the previous few words. So he really is a true ambassador. And what we got was a letter from Mr. Barnett, the owner of public, who wrote with him along with an attorney from downtown Lakeland. And they actually sent a letter of commendation to Tom about the service. I'm not going to read it in totality, but they say that they just wanted to share that he is an amazing, positive, and and consent ambassador for the city. Barney and I both mark as the ride for fortunately hard to having better made our day and infectious personality. It was a true expression of what we expect from our team's operators. And maybe Tom wants to expand a little because he was intimately involved in this in terms of a commendation that they gave directly to Tom about Marcellus.
Marcellus, I just have to say that you did an absolutely excellent job. So, Mr. Barnett, is a certified public accountant. He's part of the Publix family, but he also grew up or spent some time in Chicago. And he has always shared with me that he's had a love of public transportation from the time that he lived in Chicago or worked in Chicago and rode the CTA. And he just had such amazing things to say about you. And the fact that you were transporting one of, if not probably the most influential people in the entire state of Florida and treated him like any other passenger. He said that you are well-versed in the Detroit Tigers, which is also a passion of his. So I just want to congratulate you because I think it really, really, truly speaks volumes that you treat everyone the same. And you treat everyone with just so much dignity and so much respect. You are a true ambassador of the city.
Well, I just gotta say, this is pride. This is from a guy who spent 45 years in General Motors in Detroit. And me and my wife left our 4 daughters and 8 grandkids and 2 sons and started our life over here 4 years ago. And wow, God sent me here. And I'm a people person. I love people. I love the interaction of individuals. And I am very pleased to be here. I'm lucky to be here. But when I ran into Mr. Barnett and his son, man, he loved the Detroit Tigers. And I grew up 6, 7 blocks from Tiger Stadium, old Tiger Stadium.
Oh, wow.
So at 10, 11 years old, long story short, growing up through the riots and things like that, you have a love for the sport. And that's what I threw myself into. So when he started talking about it, then we just rolled with it. We went around a great time.
Yeah, they did. They went around twice.
Did they really?
They went around twice.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I had no idea who he was, you know, but my love was sports.
It's important.
We just hit it off. And I was hoping to see him here today. And I wanted to carry on my ideas what I had. But anyway, I'm greatly humbled, sir, you know, and to the team.
All right.
I just want to share with you guys that
Yes, ma'am.
our marketing team did a tremendous job. This is actually the email that was sent, transcribed, so you can all see. If you want to take a quick picture of it.
Yeah. Barney would have thought it was an ambush coming to board meeting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picking up the right person.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's so cool. You know who he
Yeah.
is.
Tim, I apologize, I should know.
I'll figure.
I'll get you the name.
Let me know. Yeah.
His first name is Tim and he's a bank president here in town. Tim, I apologize.
We'll
I'll get-
figure that out.
Yes, I'll figure out who it
That's
was.
okay, but that's awesome. Yay, congratulations. Well, and all of our squeeze drivers are so passionate about what they do and lovely and
Well, and I'd just like to point out that all of our operators do a
They
fantastic
do,
job.
yeah.
Fixed route and paratransit. One story I always like to tell, especially Rotary, Kiwanis, League of Women Voters when I'm out, is Steve Scruggs, the longtime president of the Lakeland Economic Development Council. About a decade ago, I believe, Mr. Mayor, had the IDEO Corporation come in. They did a lot of work.
so IDEO.
IDEO, they did a lot of work with Apple.
6 years.
And it was, they effectively invented the mouse for Apple, that kind of simplified mouse that really took off. And so they came in and they had a bike share program that Citrus Connection was a partnership with at the time. And then they had the LEDC ride, the Citrus Connection. And Steve came off of that and had called our board members and said that the drivers, in his words, were the concierges
Yes.
of the city of Lakeland. And we share that story all the time with our operators because whether it's fixed route, paratransit, or the squeeze, I believe that all of our operators are true ambassadors of all of Polk County, and they realize that it's their job to put the best foot forward. So they do a really tremendous job.
Listen, they stop and ask you, need a ride. It's just amazing. You know, I've seen them so desperate for a ride. They actually got off the cart and said, do you need a ride in the city? So, oh yeah, sure.
It's awesome. I love when good news happens. Thank you, Paul. Okay, moving on. We have item number 4. Tom, do you want to introduce?
Yes,
our-
Chair. I'd like to introduce Dr. Edward Kim from Florida Polytechnic University. Dr. Kim reached out to us. He and I had the opportunity to meet at the Polk TPO board meeting. And he's new to Florida Polytechnic and has a passion for public transportation and innovative transportation research. And so our planning team and our operations team had the opportunity to meet with Dr. Kim last week. And Dr. Kim would like to help us and partner with us to really bring the squeeze carts to the next level all across Polk County, not just within Lakeland. One of the biggest reservations, as many people know, with the squeeze, and staff included, is when's that next cart coming? Can I finish my drink? Should I pay my bill? When's the next one coming? Especially if you're out for an afternoon or you need to get back, timeliness from lunch. And so an app is something that really is needed so that people can see where those carts are to increase ridership and take us to the next level. And so we met with Dr. Kim and he proposed a partnership and he's here to talk about that today. I'd also like to just recognize 2 individuals in the room, Khalil and Noah. Are both on our team. One is an intern. Khalil's been with us for approximately a year. Noah's been with us, interned with us for 6 years. So he's almost fully vested in the Florida. They are going to be our local project managers for this. They are both Phoenix alumni.
Oh, that's awesome.
So they both graduated from Florida Polytechnic University. So Dr. Kim, I'll hand it over to you.
Okay.
Hello, the board members and everyone. Very happy to be here today to talk a little bit about the research collaboration between the department and the university. The time is good. I just joined the portfolio student university, the student program going so I'm just happy to have an opportunity to work with the teacher commission because my education background is in transit operation, system installation, coordination, that type of topic. So I did a lot of work on the paper, research, publication, but now I have the opportunity to work with the system commission to just make it happen, really. So we are trying to develop the technology platform so that the speed is going to use it. So from the operator side, so we can gather the data. They can help us to plan more reliable and efficient services. From the user side, we can increase accessibility. So users will get to know where the next bus coming, where when is the ETA, is when is the time arrival. So where the other bus, the ahead of that bus, the earlier bus. So I think that will help the public more get accessible. So we are trying to approach this as a 2-phase study. The first phase will be doing the concept proof on campus. The campus, for the police has both cards as well. The police is using it, IT is using it. So that we are deploying the concept. Once the concept is proved, then we'll extend the idea to develop the mobile application so that everybody can actually have the access to the vehicle. So I think this more collaboration can be the stepping stone for the big opportunity. So for the police growing, I'm sure that the Polk County, the Lakeland is growing. In the Tampa side, we have the district. We have the Orlando side, we have the district. The district 1 in Barstow is relatively disadvantaged. We need to grow together. I hope this can be like the small but strong the case study. So to be able to claim more funding from the district 1 or also from the Florida youth. So I'm very excited. Florida Police is also very excited because this is a smart transportation topic. So the police think that the smart transportation is our the strategic area. This topic is naturally interdisciplinary, so we are very happy to get this one going. So if you could support this idea, I'll be very happy. I'll do my best to make everyone happy and then we will. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Questions from the board? Is there a letter?
There is, the next item is a letter of support to Dr. Kim and Florida Polytechnic from you, the board chair, that effectively commits to a partnership for this research project.
Okay.
We're working on a budget, and we would bring forward a budget for approval for the board of directors. Intellectual property rights, those types of things would obviously need to be worked out between us and Florida Polytechnic. We've been in conversation about that. But ultimately, this would allow us to start this partnership with Florida Polytechnic. One of the exciting things, and I was talking about it with the board chair at our normal pre-board meeting briefing, and I think I talked to some of you about it as well, is this is not only an opportunity for the Citrus Connection to work with Florida Polytechnic, but really to create that link between the city of Lakeland and Florida Polytechnic. Dr. Kim and I and the staff talked about all of the amazing work that Florida Poly is doing out at SunTrax. And that is really inspirational and inspiring work that's going to change the world. But this would be one of the first, if not the first project between Florida Poly, the city of Lakeland, and the Citrus Connection, and then obviously Bartow and Lake Wales, to start bringing some of that innovation from Florida Polytechnic to its home community and its home communities. And so this is just the beginning of a partnership to have alumni that we've hired from the institution managing a project and then bringing projects from Poly to Polk County. I think it's just a great partnership and one that we can continue to build on. I saw James is here today. I'd imagine that there's things that can be done with traffic lights and things with Chuck Barnby as well. So it's the beginning, I think, of a beautiful relationship. I think Carly Flagler, our planner, said it best after Dr. Kim left. She said, if we can get our own little Center for Urban Transportation Research right here at Florida Polytech, how amazing would that be? Because the things that come out of Qatar change transit for the entire state.
Sure.
If we could have one of those in our backyard, how awesome.
I just wanted to add one on the top of the currently at 40, we have the advanced mobility institute.
Yes.
We are trying to pivot away to the smart transportation institute. So that it is not only the advanced mobility, but also the other topics, broader topics in the transportation. So this one is definitely going to have to give us for the poly, and then poly will be very happy to be the part.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's great. So we need a board approval on the letter of a partnership.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Awesome.
Sign that letter.
Thank you, Dr. Kim.
All right. Rhonda Carter,
All right.
CFO.
This is agenda item 5E, the Lakeland Area Mass Transit monthly financial statements for September the 30th, 2025, which are unaudited. The total revenues for September the 30th, 2025 is 16 million, or 100% of the annual budget. Farebox revenue is 306,000, or 87% of the annual budget. FDOT annual operating grants are 2.7 million, or 100% of the annual budget, and FTA 5307 are 3.4 million, or 96% of the annual budget. All other revenues are in line. Total expenses for September the 30th, 2025 are 15.6 million, or 98.6% of the annual budget. Salaries and benefits are 11.6 million, or 99% of the annual budget. Fuel and lubricants expenses are 570,000, or 85% of the annual budget. Office expenses are a little bit high. They're 335,000, or 145% of the annual budget. This is due to the rent expense for the RJ building. We didn't include it in the budget.
You should have let them see if they found it. I'm just kidding. I like the transparency.
We pulled the pyramid out of paper.
Based on the annual year-to-date budget you actual through September the 30th, the financials reflect a favorable variance of 4.4 million or 99% with the fiscal year completed. Any questions? 0.4 million. I'm just
Channeling your.
It's okay.
channeling my inner David.
Any questions on this section of the Lambchat financials besides, thank you for pointing out that when we had our agenda study the other day, I'm like, is there something I should know? She's like, well, it looks bad. But it's a building. I'm like, oh, okay. So just FYI, and we're fluid in that. I mean, we have that paid.
Yeah,
for.
that is covered. And
Yeah.
one other thing I wanted to say, especially for you, Mayor Muntz, all the operating grants have been billed through September the 30th, 2025. So we're in a positive position.
It's beautiful.
All right, are we ready to go to item 5B? Board members? Yes. Okay. All right, Rhonda.
Okay, moving on to Polk County Transit Services for September the 30th, 2025. This is also unaudited, so some of the numbers will change after the annual audit is done. Operating revenues are 10.7 million or 97% of the annual budget. Polk County contract revenue is 4.1 million or 100% of the annual budget. FDOT grants received through September 30th, 2025 is 1.7 million or 100% of the annual budget. And FTA grants received are 3.4 million or 91% of the annual budget. Operating expenses for Polk County Transit Services is 10.4 million or 94% of the annual budget. Salary and wages are 5.2 million or 96% of the annual budget. And operating expenses are 2.7 million or 89% of the annual budget. Actual revenues exceed expenses by 0.3 million or 278,000.
Awesome.
Rhonda, on the
Yes.
city contribution, that's just a little bump of 1%. What is that?
That's the money that we get from the local municipalities to help with transit. So it's 101% over what we budgeted.
Oh, what we, okay, got it. We collected a little bit. Okay.
And Chair, thank you for pointing that out,
Yeah.
because again, that number overall in the budget may seem small, but the political capital and what that shows as far as a consolidated transit system in all of Polk County is extremely important. And I'd like to thank Erin and her team, because this is now on a 2-year cycle that we have all of our municipalities in their municipal contributions.
Mhm. Yes, Commissioner Sanders.
I'm just amazed at the amount of money that we've generated from the grants.
Mhm.
I mean, I think that's awesome, and that's a great way to continue to seek money for
That's
funds.
wonderful.
That's great, almost $5 million.
Mhm. I have a question too. Sorry, I didn't ask this on the agenda, but the rural, when we look at FDOT, that grant, how it is almost 200% of
Yeah.
actual this year, is that going to be different next year because we flip from rural to suburban?
It will still have the rural grant, and the suburban, the 5307
Okay.
will go up a little bit. The reason why this number is low is because we didn't get the 530, the rural funding until after we did the budget. We knew we were gonna have
Okay.
150,000, but we didn't know we were gonna have more funding.
Okay. I don't want to have a
Question?
false sense of security on that one because
Yeah.
we did move in our MSA by transportation standards. Thank you. So I just want to make sure that we're aware of that going forward. Okay. Because that gives me heart. Okay, any further questions on the PCTS financials? All right, moving on to item 5C.
Transportation disadvantage monthly financial statements for the period of September 30th, 2025. Transportation disadvantage is on a different fiscal year. Their fiscal year runs from through June 30th. Total revenues for transportation disadvantage is 334,000 or 23% of the annual budget. The total trust fund is 301,000 or 23% of the grant. And the total county matches is 10% is 33,000 or 23% of the annual budget. Operating expenses are 313,000 or 21% of the annual budget. Revenues exceed expenses for transportation disadvantaged by $21,355.
It's a good thing.
That's the first time.
From the other numbers previously.
Yes.
I'm right here.
Oh, there you are.
Thank you, Marcia.
She's in a different state.
That's excellent.
Yes, thank you. Okay, great. All right, thank you. Anything else from the CFO's office? You good? Good. All right, then Darby, our attorney.
Good job,
Yes.
Rhonda.
First item, general manager performance evaluation. There are actually two parts to this. One is the performance evaluation, which has been done. You all board members completed the evaluation forms, and I have compiled the information which is in front of you. And so that is for your review for purposes of determination of Tom's general manager's salary. The second part to this item is the renewal of Tom's employment agreement. Tom has indicated that he would agree to the same terms in the current agreement. There are certain items, though, that need to be filled in my preparation of the new employment agreement. One would be the term of the agreement. The agreement was terminated as of August the 29th. Traditionally, the performance evaluations have taken place, and then any salary adjustment has related back to August 29. So the first question would be, or the first consideration is that the board determines the new term for Tom's employment agreement. The second consideration would be the salary, Tom's annual salary. The third consideration would be there's a provision in here that relates to an annual increase, and the current agreement is 1%. It is suggested by me that that be adjusted to the same percentage as all the other employees.
Absolutely.
So the board determines the term, however many years, with additional options, the salary, and then up to the, is it 2.25%?
In the 14 years I've been here, it's been 2.25% for the non-union employees. The union has typically negotiated something in the 5-4-3% range over the 14 years.
So I'll further say that in my opinion, it would be suggested that any salary increase be in line with other transit districts.
Yeah.
And I think in the past, information has been submitted on that, but that's what I think the board would need to look at too for setting Tom's salary.
Absolutely.
And again, it would relate to the salary amount would relate back to August 29
Sure.
of 2025. So I just put it all on you.
All right, so we need to now
Right.
do
Term,
term of the
Yes.
contract
yes,
and then salary. So
Yes.
term first.
yes.
So he has to work here forever.
You
Do you think he'll
That
sign?
sounds,
3
that
years?
sounds like a good.
Yeah. Plus 3 years.
About five.
Forever and a 3-year option. So 5 years and a 3-year option?
Is that,
I'd make a motion.
do I have a second?
Second,
Any discussion? And this is real comfortable to do everyone's review in public. It's so much fun.
This is my favorite board meeting of the
Well,
year.
it should be you.
Sure it is.
Yeah, I just worry about our team members. Yeah, we're gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's just stressful. Any discussion on that 5-year contract with 3-year
Renewal option.
no option?
Just hope when it gets to the 5 years that he's ready to say, well, let's just do another 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Renewal.
You're not on the spot.
Relocation,
You don't have to say
Yes,
anything.
yes.
You don't have to say anything. You're- All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that will be in the contract.
Yes,
Now, next, do we need to talk about the 2.25?
you can, yes, that's fine.
I would highly support it being equivalent to the rest of the team, but I need a motion for that.
Motion to make it equivalent with the rest of the team, currently at 2.25.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Salary amount, annual salary amount based on the performance evaluations and your consideration as to what Tom's done for the last 14 years.
So I want to comment on my scores because we don't see these collectively, and I'm like, I look like the mean one.
You're more thorough than others.
It's what
Well,
you do.
I
You know,
do,
yeah,
and it
it
makes
is
me
what you
used
do.
to it because I do
Yeah,
this
we got it.
universally. It's across the board.
Yes.
Because my dad was a Marine and asked me why I needed an eraser on my pencil because I shouldn't make mistakes. So there's a little childhood trauma in there. But no one's perfect. So, okay. Anyway, we have a great working relationship. I feel like the general manager is completely transparent. It's one of the most, as being a city commissioner and serving on this board, this team under Tom's leadership and the entire executive team and Ben, everyone is so thorough and so attuned to community needs, stewardship of tax dollars. They're transparent in their work. If we make a mistake or something doesn't go well, we ratchet back, we scale, we adjust, we're nimble. And so don't let my scores reflect anything but the utmost support and encouragement of Tom and his entire team. I just grade differently. But
Well, you gave him 3 5s.
I did, that was good for me,
Yeah,
right?
that was great for you.
That was really good for me. So I think with,
Perspective.
and I do think to Ben's point, to Mr. Darby's point, that we need to level up to where the standardization is for other general
Yes.
managers and transit authorities for 2 reasons. One being that, and Tom did use this saying the other day, which he should have said, he goes, if I get hit by a bus, which I'm like, please don't let that happen. But if we ever have to go out to market, first of all, it would be hard to ever match his enthusiasm for Polk County, his commitment to Polk County, and to really, he came into our system when we needed a lot of help, and he took a chance on us as much as the team
Yes.
before us took
Yes.
a chance on him.
Yes.
And really has underpinned and built this strong foundation of service here.
Mhm.
And he was handed a lot of issues when he arrived. So I would like to see it level up to at least the median of other general managers, but I'll open that up for discussion with regard to the rest of the board. Mayor Mutt.
Well, you can see I would make it higher than probably he would be willing to accept. And I think there's an issue in that as well, because there's an appropriateness with Tom in terms of salaries and the rest of the team that we might be a little under the mean
Yeah.
in what he would like to have. And I respect that so much because he doesn't do this for the money. He does this for the purpose. And so honoring him in his request not to have it be as high as I certainly would recommend. I think $90,000 is probably the move as a recommendation of where we can move it to.
About 90 an hour.
It'd be 90
I'm sorry, I meant 90 an hour.
The
90,000 an hour.
90,000 an
You're
hour.
gonna do it for free.
Yeah.
90 at the
$90
at the $90 an hour range. And
Yeah.
and in so doing, I think that it could be something that could be considered in the next 5-year period, assuming he assigns the contract and all that there could be another ratchet that needs to take place in excess of the annual 2.25. Because there is always the tension of if we would hire somebody and it would be at a higher, it was required to be at a higher rate, what a disservice we did to Tom. That's his wanting to keep it low is his problem.
Right.
Our responsibility is to try and keep it where it ought to be and to reward the leadership. He will be very, very difficult to replace. Everyone is replaceable, so that's not the issue. But the harmony that you mentioned that is here, And the tenacity of this team and the desire to work together is rare. And it starts at the top. And so I just have super high respect for him. And in that recommendation, I'd cap it at 90 in this case, although I personally I would make it 110. But I'm not going to even say that. All right.
Okay. Commissioner Santiago.
In fact, I'm gonna start by saying I was appalled when I found out that he was not at the
Yes,
top
right,
Yeah.
right.
and comparable to everybody else. I thought he was, and I wasn't here when he was first hired, but I've heard about the issues that consumed this organization and how Tom has brought it along with his team to where we're at today. One of the things that I really appreciate is the transparency
Mhm.
that and the humbleness that he brings to this. And I'm in agreement with moving it up either 90 or higher, or however we determine. But like I said, I was appalled that he was not there already. So shame on us.
Shame on it.
Shame on us for not doing that. So I know it's hard for you, Tom, to sit there and listen to all of this, but he's very well respected in the community and very well respected here. And I think that it's time. It's definitely time. So.
Commissioner Long.
Thank you. So it looks like I was just a great guy, just gave that guy 5 all the way down the road. If I'm just being transparent, like I appreciate people who actually get emails like you, and I've actually learned or striving to learn how to be more of a moderate, but I've always sort of been the optimist, try to find the best in all people and encourage and encourage and encourage. But for the first reference, I want to say is the reason why 5, I'm probably the guy to put in that compliment that some places. I just want everyone in this room to understand that the numbers here that I wrote is a reflection of you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The team, each and every one of you, each and every single one of you are what lift this organization as a whole. And it does not go unnoticed at all whatsoever. And I believe that is through great leadership. But in order to have great leadership and he can possess all the skills, it takes you as a team that elevates them. I've never been more impressed. And yes, my application is in.
Oh my gosh, they're not hiring you.
No, I actually I did put it in an app just to mess with them.
Rate you first.
Yeah.
I'm never giving it that. So
There go your.
I know it's very difficult for Tom to probably be sitting here as it would be for any one of us to sit here and say, we're reviewing in front of your peers. So to do that, I commend you. I also not in favor of that 5-3. I am in favor of the 5-3, but I know that sometimes people like to have their own personal options. I want to respect that. To the mayor's point, though, and to Commissioner Santiago's, when I learned of that too, it made me go into my little ADH mode and start wormholing around. And then I realized we don't have another transportation department in the United States that operates the way that we do it. I believe I brought that up in last month's. We're the only one that have a county and municipal partnership, and that's allowed. So your leadership and your guidance with that is to be commended. I struggled with it too. And I'll be honest with you, I was somewhere in the middle, like 95 to the 100 range. To be honest, I'll accept whatever we all agree as a whole. But looking at what Tom has done, what Tom is competent, and then just at the same point, your amazing knowledge of this, plus you do you guys are a lot more skilled at this than I am. I'm still the newbie here, but to have been impressed over the last 2 years, amazing at what we've done and where our micro transportation continues to go and my love for it. So I'm willing to entertain anything at 90 or above to match a commensurative. And I feel like we need to honor them at the same point in time, respect the median. So it made it really hard to toss up a number.
Yeah.
So I was actually, I hope someone else does it. Makes it easy for us new guys.
Commissioner Chalmers.
Yeah, I would just say the fact that we are here discussing this in public, and not just in public, but with your team around, speaks to the organization. And that doesn't happen, by chance. One of the things, honestly, there's sometimes I'm like, my gosh, am I on another group text? And then I remind myself, group text coming when he's sharing what's going on here, is that you are the only one that does that.
That's
And
right.
so that
The
level
only one.
of transparency, whether it's a celebration or that you are having to humbly say, we need to improve on something. It speaks to who you are and the team that you've built and the team that you continue to, model and grow. And for that, we are thankful. Transit in Polk County is still a concept that is struggled with by a lot of people. They don't understand it. Some of them just don't even want to discuss it, but you continue to make it innovative and something applicable where everybody can all of a sudden start to get just a little piece of transit and what does that look like and what are the possibilities that we're not thinking of literally just a bus. And so I commend you for that. The fact that, we weren't comparing numbers, kind of shame on us. But again, to your point, you took ownership of that. Some people would still shy away and like, well, I think I'm worth more. But a lot of people wouldn't voice that. So, we are lucky to have you. And again, I think the 90 an hour is where we should be. Hopefully we don't ever have to replace you. But I would think also of looking at, yes, we're going to have a term here of 5+3, but to look at that possibly annually, whether we want to consider what do we call it, a bonus or something, but just that annual incentive that we all look forward to when we're talking about what is our job performance.
Yeah. And I think it's important that last year we worked on the operators leveling up. You worked really diligently last year or 2 years ago.
We took the minimum wage at Citrus Connection up to $18
Right.
an hour, with the exception of interns, I believe, 2 years ago.
I believe.
2 years
Yeah,
ago,
probably.
that's our floor.
Yeah.
Our lowest operator wage right now, Tony, 2066, 2093, something like that. Yeah.
Everybody's in a different seat.
He's finally
I know,
not
everybody
wearing,
moved
he's
around.
finally not wearing a three-piece
I know.
suit. He's found his home. I know, it's amazing.
It's like churches do. Everybody's in a different.
You guys want to be here.
Yeah. Well, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that this is such a good discussion, and I believe that although uncomfortable, in Polk County in general, we don't pay our people. And I think that's something that as we move into the future, that we have to be extraordinarily cognizant of, not just in the public agency of transit, but across the board, private sector and public sector, because I think we lose and hemorrhage talent when we don't take care of our people. And I think that Tom's commitment, not only to the organization, but and Commissioner Santiago, I think, brought it up too, the community at large of understanding and going out into the rotaries and going out into the smaller municipalities and constantly being a good presence about what is transit. He spoke yesterday to our community classroom for the Randy Roberts Foundation about how many of you have ridden transit. Nobody raises their hand. And then how many have ridden the squeeze, and they raise their hand. Explaining what transit is to an historically rural agriculture society, it is a challenge. And my first board retreat, one of our commissioners said he would never ride transit and he was never going to have his keys pried out of his hand. And I'm like, why is he here? Lovely person. But I just think that you have hurdled just in my tenure. And then I was, I got to be on the front end in 2014 as Polk Vision person in 2012 when you came in. And so, and the whole, how that looked back then and all the different things that have happened over the last 12 years, 14 years, whatever it is. It's just been a Herculean effort that has happened literally in drops instead of buckets. And we've gained trust in drops. And I really, really appreciate that, Mayor Mutz.
I have a question and a comment. How many years since we adjusted your pay?
There's been an adjustment every year. There's been a discussion. There has not been a large,
I mean,
there's not been a market rate study.
Market rate study,
Steve
right.
provided one last year, but it just didn't come up as topic because it was provided to Ben, and my recommendation was that we not do anything, discuss it, because my contract was going to be up this year, and that was a more appropriate time to discuss it. The 2015 and 2016, I got no raise. I just didn't, I refused to take one because we had to downsize the agency by 20%. and it was the wrong message to send. So there's, for the record, there was a 2-year pause there. The employees got 2.25% those 2 years, and I'm the highest paid employee at the district, and I'm not saying that I was eating rice and beans. I don't want anybody to think that, but again, since we're in public, for the record, there was that 2-year period where I did not feel as the leader it was appropriate to take anything, because we were
trying to,
downsizing the organization. We did downsize the organization by 20% and not lay anyone off, which was a miracle. But it would have set the wrong tone. And so yes, that's the answer to that question. I'm just gonna babble because I'm nervous.
yes, you can stop. You can stop. Well, and the mayor has another comment.
Well, so the fact is, we're not dealing with an excellent executive director. We're dealing with an extraordinary executive director
And human being.
and in the whole package. And so, and we're respecting him at the $90 an hour level cap in his mind. I don't know that that ought to be the cap in our mind.
Right.
And I wouldn't go to 3 digits, but if there's another number in the 90s, I think it would be wonderful to do.
Do we have a
May I?
motion for a
Pardon?
for a number?
We don't have a motion yet for a 9,
No, we
but
don't.
I would
It's
like
just
to make a motion for
Thank you.
$95
I would
an
second
hour.
that.
95 and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Check. Son of a-
You don't always get your way.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
One more time, a real quick note, that's all because of you.
Yeah.
guys.
Yes.
It really
That's right.
is, you know, to hear that your leader has, would put you before himself, that's,
Yeah.
That's who he is.
that's military, that's, and I know that. I just want to once again commend the staff. I
Yeah.
mean, truly, your staff is amazing.
Well, and I think we all just want to be very humble in our gratitude to you and the team at large, because all of you, again, and this is the last comment on this, but everyone has really worked diligently to serve the community of Polk County in a very efficient, very lean and mean. That's what I tell a lot of people. It's lean and mean around here. And so getting everybody, a rising tide lifts all boats, and working through the market study and doing those things with Steve the last couple of years is really important. But also, we don't want to neglect you in the process. And so I think that's something we have done, because you've been a little too humble in that regard. And I think that that's shame on leadership of us of not pushing on it a little bit, a little bit harder. But congratulations on that. We're excited that you're locked into another 30-year term. Plus 3. And plus 3. And we will now go back to Mr. Darby to talk about our attorney agreement update.
Okay, so actually, my written agreement terminated Saturday, so,
Wow.
Is that door open?
No, it's just that he's free today.
Let's go on a play ball.
no, it means I get the charge for.
Uh,
Okay, so, well, after talking to Tom and the chair, based on my extended tenure, it's proposed that it be extended for 1 year, in which there would be a coordination of the transition to new legal counsel. In my review of whatever I have quote accumulated end quote over the years, because I've been the attorney since the beginning, and I think after talking to them.
Are you retiring?
No.
After this
It's
year?
a fumbled retire.
No, I'm gonna retire and write a book about the Lakeland area mass transit.
Somebody already did.
Well, yeah, but they will, I got more than that. I can put more in it. Well, so anyway, I'm scared. And I've talked to Tom, and, it's a matter of just coordinating everything.
Okay.
No, I'm not retiring. My other practice is elder law, estate planning, and probate.
Right.
That's the major part of my practice, but, I've enjoyed the district and dealing with all the people, and so there's a provision for a 90-day termination, so if things happen, at any point in time,
We got 90
you
days.
can fire me, or I can quit, and the same thing with Tom's contract. Now, you can always amend it, has the terms that you agreed upon, but you can always amend it however you want, so,
Just call an attorney. They can amend anything and everything.
yeah. Whatever you want me to put in it, I'll put in it.
Well, Ben, we appreciate you and all the history and all the work you've done for the authority over the years, because you're the keeper of
Yeah.
of the memory,
Of the
the
next
organizational memory of all the ups and downs and backs and forth and, you know, how we decided to move forward in transit and, you know, with Chuck Barby at the city and working with him so diligently on, you know, Chuck has always kept transit at the forefront of his planning, and that's been really, and kudos to you two, you all working together and doing those agreements with developers and different groups, but we really, really appreciate you. And so I think the motion would be to do a one-year contract with the understanding that there will be overlap with legal counsel to make sure that there's continuity and sustainability.
Yes, and also there, the district has retained Ogletree Deacons.
Yes, for
from
labor.
Tampa for labor matters, and that started 30 years ago with Allen and Alley when I retained them. When there was a union petition filed back then, and it wasn't the same as today. Times were different back then, believe me. But anyway, that firm has changed names over the years, but I will also, in my contract, it says that I'll coordinate with them, and I'll also contact them to establish further, if that's necessary, relationship with them to the district, just to make sure we don't lose that. I've been the intermediary, but I want to make sure,
Good.
since they've done such a great job, that the district retains them.
I agree.
Okay.
We love Laura.
I did. I just walked over to Todd in procurement and I should have thought of this before. We will make sure that we work with procurement and Ben to make
Okay.
sure that we're following
Good.
procurement laws,
Good,
federal
good,
and
good.
state,
Yeah.
when it comes to Ogletree Deacon, because I mean, Ben, I'm gonna say something about you under executive director comments, but I will say formally, our relationship with Ogletree Deacon is absolutely key
Mm-hmm.
to what we do here. Our relationship with the union for the
Mhm.
last 14 years is predicated on the civility of the vote, not having anything go to final and binding arbitration, not even getting past a step 2 grievance, and having Tony on board and Laura. It's like hitting a home run.
Yeah.
So can I make a
Yes,
motion?
ma'am.
I make a motion that we extend the attorney's agreement for 1 year with the hopes of that they coordinate and plan on a succession plan.
Awesome.
Would that include a transition attorney?
Yeah.
Succession. planning.
Secession. Yeah, okay. You're gonna second it?
Second.
Okay, all right.
Discussion.
Discussion, yeah.
I would think we'd want to do some of that prior to your retirement on the succession, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It would be
Yeah.
during the year.
So how many months do you think that alignment ought to need to take place? With someone else that you're coordinating with?
Well, that's a good question. There's so much.
I think that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
It'll take all 365.
We'll start the discussion, I would say, after the first of the year. Tom and I'll talk about it. I don't know of any, and I can try to think of someone who would be interested in it, or we can just try to figure out how to advertise somehow as to who might want it. But then there's gonna be a period of time in which I'm gonna still be involved.
Right.
because
Right.
That's,
And Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, we had talked with Ben
yeah.
and senior management from a staff transition standpoint. He has 44 years of history
Mhm.
about why a lot of things
Mhm.
are the way that they are. For example, Commissioner Troutman, you and I were talking about the 70% subsidy for dependent care coverage that you don't see at other organizations. How did that happen? Why did that happen? And so immediately, human resources through Tony and his team are going to work with Ben on some of those files and understanding the history. And then we have Debbie in finance. I'm not sure of Debbie's exact role, but she's effectively the Citrus Connection historian. It's her passion. And so we're going to have staff start to work with Mr. Darby's staff immediately to start some of that knowledge transfer so that we have it outside of the legal.
Hopefully within a year, hopefully, but we're gonna start now. I've got other things going on too with my practice that, are gonna enter into this too, or affect it. So we'll do the best we can as soon as we can, and I won't drop everything. I mean, I have accumulated files, documents, and, but I need to skip to the district.
Well, I think it's important as we do this, sorry to interrupt, is just that we get this done and we do this with a digital footprint now, so that we're able to go back into access. And so there may be a lot of just actual hands-on, whether you're scanning things in, you know, if you need that type of record, but to get it compiled somewhere where it's easily accessible as
I'm hearing
transitions all
pre-law,
happen.
I'm sorry.
interns
Right.
in Florida Southern,
Right.
literally.
True.
I shot you.
Yeah.
In addition, we need to probably have some budget considerations
Yeah.
for two attorneys for half a year, you know?
Yes.
I mean, his billable rate's $135 an hour. I don't think we're gonna find that again. 150.
We didn't even
We got
find
it
it
right.
right now.
Okay.
We've been paying him 135.
So we have a motion and a second on the floor. Ben, do you have more
No,
before we vote?
no, it's not working it out.
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, I'm starting to have a little heart palpitation over the organizational memory, institutional memory, but maybe I would consider, and Tom, you have a good relationship with Southern and Southeastern, but you know, I'm not joking about the pre-law
Agreed,
side or even
no.
a planning side at Porter Poly of maybe looking at some budget to bring some interns in, because digitizing, that's just going to take a lot of time and energy and effort, but also, you know, it would be neat to see some frameworks come out of it, like even a timeline plan from a historical perspective of all these things happen and it's not just verbal.
Yes, it's going to take work.
Yeah.
to Get it all together and transmitted.
So Dave's going to follow you with a video camera, and Dave is going to video everything. Have an oral history. All right, thank you. Wow, that's a lot of moving parts this meeting. Okay, moving on. Nicole's back for TDP major update. That is Carly. So welcome back, Nicole, and welcome to the
Where is she?
podium, Carly. They didn't move. Carly and
Yeah,
Nicole. didn't
Carly's
move. They're
staying,
always
yeah.
over there. Yes.
Good morning. So today I'm just giving a super quick update on our transit development plan. So as a quick reminder, what is a TDP? So a TDP is a 10-year vision that we upgrade or update every 5 years. That kind of outlines our funded and unfunded needs for transit. It also outlines what our priorities are for transit service and capital projects. What it is not is a budget, capital improvement program, or binding agreement, but it is a requirement to get FDOT funding. So it's still something that we need to keep going and keep pushing. So as you know, last month I came to you, or Nicole and I came to you to kick off the 30-day public comment period, where we actually didn't receive any public comments. So we are on the current step, which is bringing the TDP back to you guys for adoption. And then once we adopt it here, we'll go ahead and change it to a final draft and submit to FDOT. So like I said, really, really fast presentation update, and I stand for questions.
Any questions? Yes. maybe not.
Historically, when we have done this 5 years ago, did we get public comments?
Not usually, and we actually talked about that in our meeting last week. This historically has been with the TPO, so we are actually bringing that back in-house and going to do some different things with public involvement for that, because historically, I think Tom said the last time we did it was My Ride, My Roads in 2013, and we did a lot of different public involvement pieces of it and got a lot more feedback about it.
And reminding for gold nuggets. I mean, that's why you want to comment.
Right,
Uh,
exactly.
And so it's just what we might be missing.
So we spoke during the agenda prep on Monday about this, because from what I've seen in the last several years is even when we involve TPO, Polk Vision, FDOT, we're always in an echo chamber. Like we're always in agreement pretty much with people who are publicly involved, or like, yes, we want transit, because we don't go into these unusual suspect areas to sort of figure out how to do that better. But Carly, we talked about it on Monday, and it's something that Ryan's here. Hi, Ryan. I think that's something that we've talked about before too, is how do you have more civic engagement in these processes? And is it socials and is it Facebook? Because then you can also get into the bot world. You got to be very careful. But we're all talking about it. We're just trying to figure out how to do it better. FDOT, Ryan and I sit on MPOAC, which is the MPO for Advisory Council for the state. And it happens there too with like the Federal Highway Administration. So they do these lovely, beautiful things. And they were like, we open for public involvement, but there's not that much traction. So we need to kind of consider, especially with young people, how to use mass media in a way, maybe, and even it's like public notices. No one reads them anymore in the newspaper because you don't get the newspaper every day. So there's a conundrum right now with comms. I feel like it's not, the onus isn't just on the public
Yep,
agency, it's
good.
on the civic engagement side.
Great.
But yeah, we talked.
I think that's a problem throughout all
It
these
is.
organizations, not just particular to here. But we have to continue to do it and give the opportunity.
Mhm.
But yeah, people just don't respond to it. They look at it, they agree with it or whatever, but then they don't take the time to respond to it.
Unless it's something negative.
I mean, we got it through the county.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the hard part too, is usually the people that are interested and want to do things assume it's going to happen, so they don't say anything. So that's why we get the other side of the echo chamber, the yelling. So it's just, it's a hard nut to crack right now, and I think it's something that we'll continue to work on.
Yeah.
Together.
But again, even in that echo chamber that's often negative, you said you can find golden nuggets in there. You can find.
Yeah,
the
you can
people
learn.
At the root of this.
Sure. Which is a good thing.
And we can also start looking into best practices for what other agencies in the country are doing and kind of how they approach public involvement with agencies.
I wouldn't look at public agencies. I would look at McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would look at private sector because, and I know they have more money, but there are best practices in there of getting some kind of engagement, whether it's influencers or socials or something like that, of people who ride. There are some creative ways to do it. Where we get stuck is when we all just continue to talk to public agencies. I love public agencies, obviously, but they're not good at it.
They're not the standard
Yeah.
we want to be.
Exactly.
Not using the term, my ride, my roads, but looking at that engagement, one of the things that I think we did that was successful was we went out to where people were
Mhm.
and literally had sandwich boards, not the kind that we wore like in the Great
Yeah.
Depression or the war, but we had sandwich boards with the taxi access program, with pictures of the Airport Express. And we went to Richard's Coffee House, we went to Mitchell's, we
Mhm.
went to Smoke on the Water. We walked Publix grocery store aisles with their permission.
Good.
And we actually went to where people were with these
Mhm.
sandwich boards and said, would you ride? I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying taxi anymore. You know, would you ride it,
Right.
use a taxi voucher to get home? Would you use this airport service? Would you use fixed route service? And that's where we got all this amazing feedback. Now, the tax was a completely different thing, but we literally had to go ambush
Mhm.
marketing folks and go to where they were, PigFest. We got hundreds of pieces of feedback at PigFest by just walking around with these sandwich boards and saying, which of these things would you ride, or any of these things interested
Yeah.
to you? At least we got authentic feedback.
There was a clip on the news this morning. It was a school, and all they did was put a microphone in the middle of a hallway. Again, not that saying we're gonna do this exactly, and they put a note on there, tell us something good that happened today. And it was just left there, and of course, they were just showing that. So a way to think outside the box of how do we just be in those unusual places?
Mhm.
Not necessarily asking for sit down and fill out my survey, but
Right.
just a quick in and out, something good,
That's
something
cool.
bad.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so this is an approval item.
Make a
Yes,
motion, we approve the Citrus Connection Transit Development Plan.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Kirk, Director of Human Resources.
Yeah. Right there.
Madam Chair, members of the board, good morning. What I have before you today is a memorandum of understanding between Bridgeway Foundation and the Lakeland Area Mass Transit District. It establishes a partnership of support for transportation for Bridgeway program participants. Under this agreement, Bridgeway Foundation will continue to provide transportation using its own vehicles to ensure participants have reliable access to essential programs and services. In support of this collaboration, Landcare will provide insurance coverage for the vehicles operated by Bridgeway Foundation while they're engaged in authorized program activity. This arrangement enhances community mobility and aligns with our mission to expand transportation access through strategic partnership. Approval of this MOU is recommended to formalize the partnership and ensure clear roles, responsibilities, and liabilities and protections for both organizations. This is a budget neutral MOU doesn't cost us anything, but it just aligns with our continued efforts regarding mobility.
Mayor Mas.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions from Mr. Kirk? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's see, another MOU. There's Roberson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This MOU is a agreement between the Citrus Connection, Lake Mary Mass Transit, and the CTC in an effort for us to request our call to action to request us to be redesignated as a community transportation coordinator. The period for the MOU will be between July of 26 and June of 31. It comes here to our board as a request for the recommendation for us to continue as a designee. It would then go to the LCD board on December the 15th. LCD board would determine if they want to accept us as a designee, and then it would go to the state for approval. As an approval item. I stand for question.
Do we have a motion?
Motion for approval.
Yes.
Second.
Second, okay. All right,
Discussion question just on the document that we have in front of us. It is what Mark says it's in 2000. So is that, this is the first revision since then?
No, this is the actual agreement that the state sends. They have not made changes to the actual agreement language since 2012.
Because it's perfect.
We do
But no complaints.
every 5 years.
Okay. Further questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yeah, that's one of those historical things we need to figure out.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, agency updates.
Yes, so I'd like to start off by congratulating the first female elected mayor of the city of Lakeland. It's history. Congratulations. Elected, yes, there were 2 other female mayors, but elected.
Kinda crazy.
In the 14 years I've been here, I've had the opportunity to see the first elected African-American mayor of the city of Lakeland, Gal Fields, and now the first female mayor. So I think that's progress and congratulations. I also was trying to go back in history yesterday. I think you may be the first winner of a 4-way race outright in
I don't think
Lakeland
that's
mayor, the Lakeland mayoral history.
It is.
I think,
Really?
I think mayoral.
Too.
I did. Yeah.
You had
I've
4?
seen some 3.
Yeah, he had
You
4.
had 4?
Yeah, and he got like 70%.
He's not female.
Yeah, but he's still with me, so.
No.
I'd also.
Accepted, she says.
No, I'm happy to, I'm happy.
I'd also like to just thank the board and the staff for the confidence in me. I look forward to a great 8 years of working with everyone. Working with all of you and for a lot of you for my full 14 years. The armor's not shiny and new anymore. There's lots of chinks in it and battle scars and
Chew on.
I really appreciate that you all make me a better person and that you come into my office every once in a while and tell me to get my head out of my ass. I'm always gonna be the person who I am, and I appreciate that. You all make me better, so it's an honor. One of the things that was discussed I just wanna say in each of the one-on-ones I had with you regarding my contract was a discussion about, having someone in succession planning with Ben leaving and having a number 2 in that position. Heaven forbid something happened for me. We all know I had a health scare a few years ago. So that is something that I will meet with the senior leadership team on and our strategic planning advisor and really look at the possibility of having a number 2 as well. Rhonda's in that position right now as the CFO, but looking at maybe an assistant general manager of those types of things as well. I'm on a city manager tour to go back out and meet. And so we're calling it the general manager tour. As much as I get out and I appreciate the community outreach, Aaron is our contact at the Ridge League of Cities. And 2 or 3 mayors asked if I was still the general manager of the Citrus Connection, which tells me I may have allocated a little bit too much to Aaron on the east side of the county. So I'm going to go do a general manager update to all of the municipalities so they can see my face. Started with Fort Meade this week. It was excellent. I sent condolences on behalf of the board for Possum, who had just passed away. But the community's doing very well. I got to meet the interim city manager. He seems very strong. And they introduced a new chief financial officer for the city of Fort Meade. He comes from Baltimore County.
Wow.
And really, he's an elderly gentleman and seems to really want to come in and put Fort Meade in a positive financial situation. So it was a very positive meeting, and they're appreciative of transit.
We have a great data center that will help them with that.
Yeah. The squeeze continues to impress. We had approximately 700 rides this last weekend, 1,000 rides the weekend before, and 1,000 rides the weekend before that.
That's amazing.
Dr. Kim, I'm sorry, we could have excused you a long time ago, but I think it speaks volumes to why we need this partnership with Poly, so that people can see where those next opportunities are. We will be saying goodbye to Mayor Mutz. So we need to plan a proper farewell for him. I think the Citrus Connection sends retiring board members off and then better than anybody else. So we'll get with your calendars, and hopefully your lovely wife can join us, and Emma can join us as well.
I want to say, I mean, 8 years, like one of the few elected mayors to do, I think Gal was one term, right? And Howard was one term. And so 8 years of service is really. And we've been on this board for 8 years. Like, it's just a lot. It's a lot.
It's
And
a
we really
privilege.
appreciate you so much.
I am positive, Mr. Mayor, that plenty of people are going to have plenty to say at the next board meeting about your leadership. An update on the EV6 carts, the electric carts. They are scheduled to be here in December. So Jay continues to track that. As a reminder, these are 6-passenger, not 8-passenger electric vehicles. They have doors, they have air conditioning, and effectively they will replace the golf carts for the evening squeeze in Lakeland. And the golf carts will still be used for the lunch squeeze per Paul, which will make it much easier that Squeeze Plus is then as a product at dinner effectively goes away. It's just the squeeze. So that'll work very well, and we'll make sure that you're informed on that.
And volunteer to test drive.
And on property behind the gate. We can absolutely arrange that. We received an award for the Polk County Veteran Supporter of the Year. I accepted it on behalf of the Citrus Connection and the employees. Again, I think it's
Look right there.
It's right
I
there.
think we got 2 awards, if I heard it correctly.
Yes, and then
there.
Congressman Franklin recognized the organization as well. So I just again like to thank everybody for doing that. And then I'd like to just commend Rhonda and her team. It looks like we're nearing the end of the largest federal government or longest federal government shutdown in history. Rhonda and her team have been continuing to build grants or prepare the billing of the grant.
Good.
We have been acting as if the federal government is open. So when the federal government reopens, we will build those grants aggressively. I'd also like to thank Tony and his human resources team. And Dave, we have been in constant communication with our employees to make sure that they understood that we were in a positive financial situation. We wanted to be consistent through this.
And planned ahead.
They knew they were going to be okay. But spouses were coming home for the last 40 days wondering, well, are you going to get paid? Yes, you're going to get paid. So we wanted to do that. So I want to thank Tony and Dave, because I think that steady drumbeat of reassurance isn't necessarily what our employees needed. It's what their spouses and their kids needed to hear.
Yeah.
So I like the holistic approach of that. So that is the end of my report.
Great. Good report. All right, so we did all that. Is there any other business?
Madam Chair, I'd like
Yes.
to bring something up, and I don't know if this is just what is expected, but why is Tom's title general manager?
We flipped it from executive director to GM a couple of years ago because that's the best practice around.
That's what I wanted to
Yes.
ask. If that's
So
the best practice.
executive director, remind me when we did that.
So I was brought in as the executive director, and then I think it was 2 years ago, we changed it over to general manager. Commissioner Santiago, general manager is more of a traditional title
Transit.
for the head of a.
That's what I wanted to know, because
Yeah.
usually I would have thought it would be a CEO,
Me
Yeah.
too.
you know, but, so general manager is what is expected in transit? Is
I
that
would
what you're
say,
saying?
I mean, Nicole, it's pretty standard at the larger transit agencies, wouldn't you say?
The larger transit agencies now, they're using CEOs.
Oh,
Can we look at it?
Yeah.
There that
Right,
went.
Val.
I'm just a note on my,
All right.
what'd you say, Aaron?
Lincoln Harbor was the,
Okay,
I may be behind the times as
So-
general manager then.
I'm glad you brought that up.
It's excellent.
So we did do GM just a couple of years ago because we felt like that was, but I have a little note that talks about the lexicon of transportation, like a glossary of all these things that are maybe a best practice of what all the different terms are, because I still, the fare box and fares and what's fair, it still makes me like bananas. Can someone help me with that? I mean, I'll be happy to prove it as an outside observer, but like, I think that we could throw that in there too, CEO versus GM, and sort of look at what that looks like, and then we can bring that back to the board. I
Since
think it's a good
we're
question.
discussing his contract.
Yeah, I think it's a good question.
I always have a problem with general manager. I don't remember when we changed it, but I may have approved it back then, but
You did.
I did.
I say
In
take it.
retrospect, a general manager just does
Uh-huh.
not reflect the title that he, or the job description that he has.
I agree.
So with that, do we want to write that in? Is there a motion to write that?
I
into
make the motion that we write that in, and change
new
general
contract?
manager to CEO.
I said,
Okay, here, I have a question. Does that mess us up with grants and the federal government and the state government, and all those people?
A rose by any name.
Problem.
that was right.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it'd be more problematic if I started going by Thomas than Tom.
Than Tom.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an issue.
All right,
Check it
We'll
out.
check to make sure.
Provided that it does not, just do that in the
No,
motion.
yeah,
Attorney
I was
says it's
looking
okay.
at Darby. Is that okay? Okay.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so if we can do that, great question. I appreciate that.
What a day.
One more time. One
Yes,
more.
one more
You're the CEO now, not
I just
general
got
manager.
one last question.
Commissioner Lalonde. Go ahead.
Thank you so very much. I just wanted to know if there was any update as to where we may have been with the benches within the Central Avenue area. Sorry to hate with such discourse.
Is that on Olive Street?
James, any update?
Yeah, so we are still in communication with Creative Outdoor.
So they're not talking back to us then?
They are talking back, but they are pushing back. As Tom famously said, for bus shelters have to be built the same way as Burger King, because no one wants a bus shelter in their backyard. It's the same with bus benches. And so, in conversations with them, we're trying to see where the right of way is appropriate and get that in mind.
Okay. Thank you
So
very
that's
much.
Olive Street where that little post is right now.
Well, there's a couple spots and Tom may be able to speak more fluent on it, but when we had taken a tour with several community representatives or something there, we noticed that there were some that were missing, and then some under the current contract were supposed to have already been replaced.
Okay.
And they just decided maybe not in their best interest to invest those dollars in that area. So Tom had a very
Candid.
yes, I love the word candid talk with him.
Yes, I'd like to thank Commissioner Lalonde. He got the request to tour the neighborhood. We got a bus together, took out community advocates. The unintended consequence was the situation was honestly much worse than we thought. There were bus benches just on dirt mounds throughout the community. We took pictures, we brought it to the attention of Creative Outdoor.
Okay, good.
They removed them all. And they still haven't put them back.
They left him with none.
And that's, so they went from benches to nothing.
That looks bad.
To nothing, yeah. That's problematic. We are continuing to follow up with Creative Outdoor. James copies us on all the city issues, and so we are aggressively pursuing getting them the transit amenities that they deserve.
Thank you,
I
Commissioner Lalonde.
appreciate it. I just had that last week. We had an NAC, the last
Yes.
NAC meeting for the year, and a sidebar with.
We get a
Mr.
call, we get a call from the community about every 2 weeks
Okay.
Me
asking
too.
for an update.
Me too. Since
To that end, I just want to also, and bring this in for landing, like, thank Tom. I'm going to again harp on the community advocacy point of this. I think with everything we do, whether it's the county or the city or the other municipalities or transit district, is local boots on the ground in leadership roles is critical. So we as electeds can do that, but we also need staff to be boots on the ground and driving the roads and seeing where, I asked Chuck Barnby whenever we do a big Google map, and I'm like, did you drive it, Chuck? Did you go out and drive it and see it in full dimensional? And Chuck's wonderful and of course did that. But I think that is, especially when we're thinking about planning and we're thinking about longevity, is we can look at maps all day long. But unless you get on a bus and go ride around and see what actually the community is feeling, so kudos to you for doing that. We really
Kudos
appreciate
to
it.
Sue who drove,
Yep,
Carly
thank you
who,
guys.
who built that great relationship with Miss McGriff.
Yeah.
I know he's hiding back there somewhere. Everybody was sitting there taking notes and it was
It's a
actually
big
went
deal.
very well.
Well, and it's a big deal because I think we can all sit in our offices and not do things like that because it takes a little extra effort. But it's critically important to serving the public is to really know what it's like on it. It's like, school board members not going into a high school. Like you got to go into the schools to see what it's like. We have to drive the roads and ride the bus and ride the squeeze to see what it's like. And I appreciate that. So I just thank you. Thank you for doing it, Commissioner Lalonde. And then thank you for the team for being so, I keep saying this is the last thing to say. I promise this is not a new me, I promise. But this team receives, you're really good receivers.
Teachable.
And it makes it much easier as elected officials when you guys listen and you hear us and you receive the information or the questions we're asking. To Commissioner Troutman's point about the transparent text, that doesn't happen in other agencies as well. You all are very good receivers of information. You listen, you take us seriously, you want to help. And that is a commendation. Like that's wonderful. And that does start at the top.
Since we're being recorded, I want to make sure I assure Ben and the community. I only group text
I knew
you
you were
on
gonna say that.
items that you do not vote on or would not be voted on.
And we don't
That's
respond.
the appropriate
Don't
arena.
respond.
And we don't respond.
Not determined policy
Yeah.
via group text.
Yeah, exactly.
This is your
Exactly. This is
286.
just like a
This is
news,
yours.
it's a news bulletin that comes
Yeah.
out on
Yeah.
text.
We
Yeah.
receive
This is your
information.
But I appreciate that because that really keeps us informed.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Save
Right.
us phone calls after phone calls. of following up.
Exactly. Any other business? Seeing none? Oh, hi. Stand up.
Gonna be
Name and address
Ryan.
for the record.
Yeah.
So,
Ryan
Ryan, Executive Director with the Polk DPO, glad to be here. Just quickly, so I don't want to belabor the meeting here. So Miss Julia Davis, she's not here today.
Yes.
I think y'all sent her off last time.
Yeah.
So maybe she
So
last
sad.
one. I just wanted to remind everyone, if you didn't know, we're having a retirement party for her at 1 p.m. down in the county, 3rd floor. If you have the time, you're in town, you can join us. Please do today. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good to know.
so.
Love to have you guys. Thank you, Ryan. We do
Thank you,
appreciate
Ryan.
Julia. Anybody else? All right, now we're adjourned.
Now.
We write that down.
Are you going?
Last minute.
When they were dodging everyone up and he was sort of cutting the shit out of it.
It's redneck. I don't write this down.
Tom, sorry. I hope you didn't mind. Right, we didn't talk about it. I mean,
It didn't always leave it in
Late.
but really, that sounds like it's-
Yeah, so you sound like a crust of chili.
Now he's looking.
Speaking of solid story.
Well, I mean, honestly,
Show you
but I like that because it shows
cities.
the trend that changed and I didn't. You're on. Yeah.
I almost forgot.
Yes.
No, you're scrubbing.
No. There you go, sir.
Thank you, Dr.
Where I'm coming from. I'm working. This way. My wife didn't turn up. She needs help.
You want me to do another one? Yeah. I'm just taking. Okay, pardon? Thank you.